taking the time today to join us for the Payroll for Construction sales webinar on how to simplify certified payroll reporting on Davis-Bacon projects. My name is Alex Gray here. I will be the host of today's webinar here. It does appear that we still have some of those filing into the webinar here today. So we'll give them a few minutes to join. But those that have joined us so far here, today's webinar is a listen-only webinar here. You will see with your sidebar, you will be able to propose some questions here. So as I go along here today, any questions come up, feel free to throw those in the chat, or as well as we will set some time aside at the end for us to answer any additional questions. But we'll give everyone here a couple more minutes, and I'll be back with you guys here in a moment. All right, wonderful. Looks like we had some others join us here, so we'll go ahead and get started here today. So again, thank you everyone in the audience here for taking the time out of your day to join us for the webinar, the sales webinar here hosted by Payroll for Construction on how to simplify certified payroll reporting on Davis-Bacon projects. So again, like I'd mentioned, for those that are joining us late, today's webinar will be a listen-only webinar. But feel free, though, as we go along here today, there is a questions box. Any questions that do come up, feel free to throw those in the chat. We will have some time set aside here at the end to answer any questions that may come up. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started here today. So my name is Alex Gray, one of the regional sales managers here at Payroll for Construction. With my contact information here, any of those in the audience today that may be interested in setting up a demonstration, or maybe you have some additional questions that you want to connect to discuss further, please don't hesitate to reach out. Happy to be a resource for anyone that may have any questions after today's webinar presentation. But we'll go ahead and with this, meet payroll4construction.com. So with today, to talk about how to simplify certified payroll reporting on Davis-Bacon projects. With the team, we need to have the systems in place to be able to handle the type of work, what our team is actually doing there at the company, the type of payroll that we are experiencing. So Payroll for Construction would be that solution for those that are looking to help simplify the certified payroll reporting, where who we are, what we do. We are an online payroll service provider only specializing in the construction industry. With our teams here, payroll processing in all 50 states. And what also is going to make us different here is with our services, we are powered behind the scenes by a full job cost ERP accounting software known as Foundation Software. They were founded back in 1984, but in 2006, the team here at Payroll for Construction realized that, hey, not everyone needs the full power of the accounting system. What's one of the powerful things about it? It's going to be the powerful payroll module, as well as the job costing and the construction-specific reporting. So we pulled portions out that payroll module, the job costing, and created today what is known as Payroll for Construction. So we're going to be a full-service payroll provider that's going to specialize in paying the employees via check direct deposit. We'll also handle all tax filings and payments when it comes to payroll. So the weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual tax filings and payments can handle any federal, state, local authorities, FUTA and SUTA, as well as the filing and distribution of employee W-2s come year end. But also with that service comes the automated construction reporting here, so job cost reports, union reports here, job costing with labor burden, EEO, minority compliance reporting, and as well as the big one here today, certified payroll reporting. So with us, It's going to be, hey, you enter your hours into the software, you go ahead, submit that to us for processing, then those certified payroll reports over 40 different print formats, as well as electronic versions available to you after that payroll is processed, free included as a Payroll4Construction client. We'll discuss that in a little bit more detail of how we can simplify that certified payroll reporting for our Davis-Bacon work. So again, what we do here at our core, we're going to handle that construction specific payroll. So it doesn't matter if you're working in one state, working in multiple states here. We're going to be able to handle that multi-state payroll reporting, tax filings and payments for you, as well as any contractors that may be working in states like Ohio, Kentucky, where we have multiple localities that we're going to need to track for taxing purposes. Again, with us here, not a problem. Any taxing jurisdictions, any states, localities that we're working with, we'll be able to have those taxing tables set up and managed inside your Payroll4Construction system. And then along with being able just to handle the standard tax breakout, we're also going to have the system set up to help automate the type of work that's being performed here. So we're going to have separate pay rate tables where we can set up what our prevailing wage rates along with the prevailing wage fringes are per that specific project, or maybe if this is based on a specific area that we're working in, where we can have that system set up to automate the pay rates for prevailing wage, as well as to set up the automatic fringe calculations there, whether all of our employees are be calculated at the same, or we need to get down to a trade by trade, employee by employee basis, as well as to whether this fringe is something that we're paying as cash into the employees, or we have some sort of fringe benefit group we're working with for fringes. We'll be able to track that fringing information, have it reported however you guys need that broken out for the team, as well as to also able to help automate the prevailing wage fringe reduction factor, or what we call a fringe credit, where, hey, for the specific prevailing wage project, I'm being required to pay these employees here $7 an hour in fringe benefits, $12 an hour in fringe benefits here, but based on how our team is already set up here, we're already offering up to $7 an hour in fringe benefits. So instead of paying and tracking the 12 on top of the 7 for what you're already offering, we're able to then take that fringe and reduce it down by the 5 difference if we have that prevailing wage fringe reduction going on there as well. So maybe also can help the team save money, as well as automating the fringe calculations for the team there. And as well as to the last point here, workers' compensation. So we'll get that workers' compensation policy set up inside your Payroll4Construction database. Can have this tracked, broken out by the types of work, the classes for our team here, and can even have caps set up to what's ultimately being exposed to workers' compensation. Then have everything automatically tracked for us, have a report that we can run from a high-level class breakout, or get into an employee by employee, earn code by earn code basis there. Then going hand in hand with that construction specific payroll is going to become the construction specific reporting. One of the biggest parts of construction payroll here, all the different reporting options that, hey, maybe we're currently manually tracking this information. Well, with Payroll4Construction, we're going to help simplify the construction reporting process when it comes to that payroll here. So the first one that most of us are here today to discover is going to be that certified payroll reporting. So after payroll is processed within our system, you get instant access to over 40 different print formats of that certified payroll report. So whether you just need the generic WH347 or we need a state-specific certified payroll report format, you get instant access to all of those print formats as well as to electronic reporting formats. So we're starting to see the industry switch to have the electronic online portals for those certified payroll reporting formats. So after payroll is processed, we can have then electronic link file generated for you for whatever format you need. So LCP tracker, California DIR, EMARS, Astroware, we'll be able to help have that creation of the certified payroll report in your system where, hey, it's the online portal, you go ahead and upload that file that the system spits out for you, or if it's the print, that information's available for you to PDF, sign, pull outside of that database at any point in time. And I'll show you guys a little bit later on today how those are generated in the system. But along with that certified payroll reporting, again, minority compliance, EEO reporting, print and electronic versions available there as well. Job labor, burden cost reporting, workers' compensation, again, high-level class breakout, or it can get down into the employee by employee, earn code by earn code basis, as well as 401k reporting. If anyone's working out there with a vendor, can have that 401k amount automatically withheld, have a 401k report to see where our employees stand. as well as too, if anyone in the audience is a union contractor, we also have separate tables that we can set up union information, pay rates for the classifications, as well as track all those unions, deductions, and fringes. Have a nice union report generated for us to see where we stand once it comes time to make that payment to the union. Then the final here, child support and other garnishments. So any court-ordered garnishments, child support, alimony, tax garnishments, we will be able to handle and pass off the garnishment information where it needs to go. Or your team could also handle any garnishments in-house with the service and also have reports available to see where you stand. All right, so moving along here then, at our core, we're still going to be that traditional payroll service provider here. So we'll handle the paying of the employees via check or direct deposit here. Direct deposits for employees as well could be broken out across as many bank accounts as the employee may need for that breakout of the direct deposit pay. No additional charge for that breakout of direct deposits. As well as too, that we'll take over the liability as that provider. We'll handle all the tax filings and payments when it comes to payroll. So the weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual tax filings and payments, handle those quarterly and annual returns, those 940, 941s, as well as then too, handle the W-2s as well as along with other year-end service options we do provide. With Payroll for Construction here, hey, if we didn't take you live in the first of the year, we take clients live here the first of any month moving forward, where we'll get all payroll history, what's been done so far this year, whether you've been working with the previous payroll provider or we've been processing payroll in-house for the team there. We'll get all that payroll history, what's been done so far this year, up to date inside of our system, or your database, so that employees will only receive one W-2 from Payroll for Construction come year end. All right. Then also what else makes us different there is, hey, with us, we are powered behind the scenes by that construction ERP accounting software foundation with a seamless integration. But hey, not everyone's using foundation for accounting in the office there. That's why we have the ability to integrate with QuickBooks and other accounting programs out there, Sage, Viewpoint, other popular accounting systems for my example there, where once payroll is processed in our database, your payroll database can have that information then passed back into the accounting system, broken out across the corresponding general ledger accounts, as well as under the individual projects. So our overall net profit and loss can remain the same in those accounting systems. Then again, with us here, our only focus is construction. So we're going to have a staff of professionals experienced with construction payroll here. Our support team is trained only on our systems here in-house. We could walk down the hall of our office, go meet with our support staff, available to you to assist with any items come up. Hey, with it, maybe it's with the certified payroll report here, or maybe it's just a simple payroll question. You have a live receptionist support representative available to assist if that time were to ever occur. Then also with us, we do offer our own mobile applications for field time card entry that connects directly to the payroll database there. But those of you that may already be using some sort of mobile app there in the office, we do offer a time card import feature where we do integrate with other mobile providers out there, or also to maybe, hey, we're just currently tracking those time cards here on an Excel sheet. We can also import hours into our payroll system for the entry of hours in that week there. And with us, web-based access anytime from anywhere with an internet connection. You log in on that PC, laptop, computer device, access your payroll system. That database will only be loaded with information specific to your teams for your payroll runs. Then also here too, we do offer an online stub portal for your employees to be able to receive those pay stubs electronically there, as well as then too, we are offering, rolling out some other HR platforms as well, if anyone is looking for more employee self-service and onboarding to go along with the payroll system. Okay. Then how a payroll is processed, you simply log in online, you go ahead, you enter or import your time cards, then you'll review the time card entries and payroll calculations using the proofing report and pre-check registers that are available to you. Then once payroll looks good to go, you submit payroll with the click of a button inside of that payroll database, sends a copy to our team for processing. We'll take over that middle portion, the paying of the employees, the tax filings and payments. Then all of your construction specific reports that you're utilizing are available to you instantly inside of that system and no additional charge for utilizing those reports inside the database there. All right, I'll pull up my information here again towards the end, but what I want to do here next is we're going to jump into the actual Payroll for Construction system here for you guys. So With this again, with us, we're powered behind the scenes by Foundation Software. So if those in the audience maybe have heard of the accounting system and have looked at it, maybe you're hesitant to make a change there, or hey, we like the payroll module and we're having issues with that certified payroll reporting. We have the payroll service that's going to be powered by that accounting system here, where again, we'll start you with the blank database copy that we'll build from the ground up to house the information that only your team needs for your payroll runs. One of the first places that we start here is going to be inside payroll maintenance. Now, with us, we'll come in. We have data extraction specialists that can go into our current systems we're using there, export out our current list of employees, import that in for setup so we're not keying in all of our information when we're building the system here. There isn't really too much different from our employee records versus other providers out there. Again, we'll also go ahead and get that workers' compensation policy set up inside of the system there with the corresponding class breakout and any caps we may want to set up there as well. But then on the screen here is where you're going to then start seeing what separates us from other providers out there, that we can help simplify that Davis-Bacon payroll, the projects tracking, pulling in the rates, the fringing information, where we're going to have specific tables that we can have set up and tied to that specific project. So with us, a job is a job. When I pull in a time card, the system can look and pull in the corresponding rate of pay. It'll look at the job record and pull in the prevailing wage rate if needed. If it's a private commercial job, pull in the employee's private commercial rate of pay, as well as those two. If we have anyone out there where employees are maybe sometimes already receiving a higher pay scale than that prevailing wage rate, can still have the system set up to pull in the higher of the two corresponding rates, where as a Payroll4Construction client here, you will have access to manage these tables here, or we can manage these for you as a client with us, where we take that table here. Hey, how do you want it to be named here? Prevailing wage job 1, prevailing wage 97021, or maybe it's on an area. We'll have those tables set up with how you would want the naming conventions to reference them inside your system, as well as then per that Davis-Bacon contract, we'll take the list of trades along with the corresponding rate of pay here, then take this information and we're able to tie it directly to that prevailing wage project. So when I bring hours into the system, we'll pull in the corresponding rate of pay per that employee's trade. Then you'll also see we'll pull then all the info into the certified payroll report when I generate it right inside of the system here. As well as too with our tables here, you're going to notice that I can timestamp this with an effective date. If any of those are, hey, we have longer lasting prevailing wage projects that are subject to any rate increases here. With that project here, I can have this set up. Maybe these are my rates at the first of the year. Then a year later, hey, maybe this gets subject to a rate increase. Everything for my example is going up by $1. Okay, send over the updated rates to us. We'll get that table set up with the upcoming effective date. So no matter if that occurs in the beginning of a payroll run, in the middle of a payroll run, the system will be able to look at the corresponding effective date and switch over any employees that are working on that specific Davis-Bacon project and pull in the corresponding rate of pay, no going in and updating all of our individual employees' information. All right, as well as too, a limited number of tables can be set up, managed inside of your payroll database here. Now with this, hey, that's just that base rate of pay per the prevailing wage rate. What do I do about that fringing information? Okay, we'll have a separate table here that will then set up that fringing, how it needs to be calculated here for our employees. So again, no matter if, hey, all of our employees are being calculated at the same rate for that prevailing wage fringe, or I need to get down into an employee by employee basis, trade by trade basis, can have that fringe broken out as needed for the team there. Or then what we'll do here is we'll take that fringe and break it out across however it needs to be broken out. Hey, whether this is just a fringe that we set up, mark it as a fringe. This is something we're just paying as cash into the employee's paychecks here. We're not throwing into multiple buckets. Okay, can set up that prevailing wage code for however you want it to be. Then we're not saying you need to know how this information is being calculated as. We can assist with getting these tables set up and managed here, where how does this fringe need to be calculated? Is it based on hours worked? Is it based on hours paid, where we can have it subject to the 0.5 calculation for overtime, or maybe you don't need to subject it to that calculation? Is it a percentage, a fixed amount? The rate it's calculated at. Can even control how this information is taxed, can set up limits, as well as too, if we need any fringing information broken out across multiple buckets, what we refer them to for the employees, can have that fringe broken out and calculated however we need it set up for your team there. And again, too, no matter if this is something that we're paying as cash into the employee's paychecks, or we're working with some sort of fringe benefit group there, we can have that information tracked as needed, have a report also available for you guys to send off to the corresponding fringe benefit group if this isn't something that's just getting paid as cash to the employees. Right. Then once these tables are set up inside of your Payroll4Construction database, what we then are able to do here is you'd come in and you'd go through your payroll flow where our training team can set up kind of the overall payroll process for you where, hey, do I need to enter any new jobs here? Let's say I got that new Davis-Bacon project. I come in and I key in my job name, number, description to match how it appears inside that accounting system, as well as then too, I take those tables that we had just sent up, tie them into the job record here. So then as I'm coding time into those projects, we'll pull in the corresponding prevailing wage rate along with the fringing information. And then, all right, we're ready to go ahead and enter our time cards here for the week. So again, with these, we have the ability to sync from our mobile application here. We can import hours from another mobile provider out there that you may be working with in the office. But hey, for my example here today, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how we can bring in the corresponding multiple rates for employees here in the same week, where I'm going to enter a time card for Rick Stevens here. I'm going to go ahead and right click and insert some line items here to enter a time card for this employee. I'm going to have Rick work across 3 different projects in this week. He's going to have 3 different rates of pay, as long as 2 different taxing tables that are going to be tied in. First project, job 12, private commercial job. Rick's making a set $15 an hour per his private commercial rate set up with us. I'm then also going to have Rick work on job 97021 and 97051 here, where these are 2 separate prevailing wage jobs, Davis-Bacon jobs, have their own list of rates tied in behind the scenes here, where I can then go through, key in my hours as needed here. Unlimited number of jobs, rates, states, all on one time card for the employees here in 1 week. So it doesn't matter how we have this broken out here. I have those hours then brought into the system. And once I click OK, then based on those job setups, we'll then look at that project and pull in the corresponding rate of pay based on what my employee was doing here. So we have the ability also to set up defaults. Hey, if there's a typical classification this employee is working under here, or as well as too, maybe we also have a classification, a pay rate change on the same project in that week, where, hey, also at 97021, even though he's typically defaulted as an electrician, I also have a couple of hours here where he was working as a laborer for us. I can pull in that other rate here, enter the additional hours, re-click OK. System then pulls in the corresponding rate of pay based on that trade classification, the type of work being performed by the employee on that project, as well as can too pull in the corresponding taxing table, as well as track any additional cost codes we may need for the team there. All right, but then once hours are saved inside the system here, we then go through that reviewing and the process of seeing where the hours and calculations stand. We'll have access to time card list proofing reports here, where, hey, whether you want to see the information broken out on a job by job basis, an employee by employee basis, we can do so here, where I can run this list, then review what had been entered into the system here. So the bringing in of those Davis-Bacon pay rates, the prevailing wage rates for our employees is automated for us. We're simplifying the process of what the pay rate needs to be for this employee on that project, then have construction specific reports for us to then see what everything that went in to our employees' time cards in those week. And with the criteria tabs here too, can control how this report's being formatted. So if you want to see it broken out on a job by job basis, we can do so there. As well as then too, going to have a number of pre-check registers, calculators then to review where the calculations stand here. Hey, what's going on with workers' comp? Is there an employee that isn't going to receive a pay stub here? Or, hey, I just want to see the pre-check register where everyone stands if I were to submit payroll at this point in time. Then once we're good to go here, we simply come over, click submit right inside that database, send the copy to us for payroll processing. Then all of our construction reporting is instantly available for us here. No additional charge for utilizing those reports. So with us here, hey, first one I'll show you, workers' compensation. Can run this for a high level class breakout for our employees there. Or as well as to, hey, maybe we need a little bit more information than this here. We need to get down to an earn code by earn code basis. All right, not a problem. I switch that criteria, go into the by earn code. I now get all of my classifications with those employees that had hours under that specific classification. 2 hours of overtime, $63 was Arthur's gross earnings, but based on that cap, only $42 was exposed. Also then going to give us our overall subtotals of where we stand here at the bottom for that workers' compensation. Then also too with these reports, PDF, Word, Excel, CSV, can click a button, pull these outside the system if ever needed to send off to a user that may not have access. But the big ones that we'll cover here today, then that certified payroll reporting. So then those hours have been entered into your payroll database. We need to then run that certified payroll report. With our system, you get opened up to every single format of that certified payroll report based on that project. So no needing to define, hey, this needs the WH347, this is going to be the LCP tracker. These formats to then run that report. Hey, I need electronic file generated here. I select certified payroll electronic. I get then greeted with a format window. California DIR here, Astrowares, EMARS, LCP tracker, the state of Maryland specific format, Texas. You have multiple formats here that our team is staying up to date with. If anything does change, we will update that format for the report there as needed for you. But I'll run LCP tracker for my example here today. Once you select your format, you come in, you enter in the date range that you need. You can also then control where you want this file that's going to be created, the XLS file, to be saved on your computer. I then run that report. Now, with the electronic upload, it's going to look like a jumbled mess of information here, and that's because we're creating the electronic file upload for LCP tracker, where what you'll then do is you'll click close. File's not been created, create file now. You click yes. This is then saved to your desktop, whatever location on the computer there. We log into LCP tracker, we upload the XLS file. That certified payroll report has then been created by our system for you, and no manual entry of information for certified payroll reports with our system here. Once that report is created here, we'll then have that upload created for you. You upload it into LCP tracker to help simplify, streamline the overall payroll process and the reporting process for you. All right, we'll jump out of LCP tracker then and also show you the print formats here. So we have over 40 different state, federal, city-specific formats for the certified payroll. Again, you come in, you put in the date range that you need for your project there. Then I'll scroll through real quick and show us all the reporting formats that are available here for you. So multiple formats for specific states, for specific cities. Our team, again, is staying up to date with those report formats. So if something does change, we will revise that and timestamp it that we have done that for you, as we're only working the construction industry here, staying up to date with what's going on. You can see here, this New York itself has 15 different certified reports that can be available based on the type of work we're performing there. Have those instantly generated, as well as then too, the big one, the generic WH347. You select your report format you need, you run that report, then can run this for one project at a time, multiple projects at a time here. We'll generate the certified payroll report for us, pulls in any information that we need based on that payroll run, as well as we'll also include that signature page for us so that we can go ahead, PDF it, pull it outside the system, sign it, send it off where it needs to go. That certified payroll report has been created inside of our system. As well as too, if anyone there needs no work performed certifieds here, oh, we'll actually do this. Rerun this for you to show you too. If we ever need no work performed certifieds, can have those pulled in with the corresponding signature pages there. It's as simple as selecting that format needed, running the report. It's going to pull in any information based on that certified project. All right, so we'll go ahead and close out there. Then get with simplifying of Davis-Bacon, the construction reporting, certified payroll reporting on those projects. To help simplify it, we're not going to be in a manual process here. We need to get a solution in place that's going to help us streamline that overall payroll process, and more specifically, something that is built for the construction industry. As you know how times messy construction payroll can get, our system here will be able to pull in the corresponding prevailing wage, fringing information. Then after payroll is processed by our team, get instant access to whatever format we may need for those certified payroll reports. Again, we're not doing manual information entry of those certified reports. It's all being generated in the system for us as a Payroll4Construction user here. All right, perfect. So what I'll do here then, I'm looking at it, we are right up against the half hour here today. So I'll pull back up the slideshow here. I'll also open it up then to any questions those in the audience may have here today. So feel free to go ahead, throw any of those questions you may have in the chat here. I'll go ahead and get those answered, or also too, maybe you have something that you want to set up a conversation for us to discuss in more detail. Feel free to reach out to me via email or call. My information will be on the screen there for you. Always happy to assist if anyone does have any just generic questions there. But looking at the chat here, we do have one. So how does this import into QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop? Great question there. So with us, we do have a QuickBooks integration tool that would be set up on whatever workstation needed as a part of the payroll implementation, where after payroll is processed by our team, you will run that QuickBooks integration tool that will be connected to the QuickBooks system. You enter in the payroll period date range, you click upload. We'll then pass back that information to our QuickBooks system, broken out to the general ledger accounts, as well as the corresponding projects. If I show you here an example of what to get passed back into QuickBooks, the system will take this general ledger upload, break out the payroll information across the corresponding accounts that we would set up and match to your QuickBooks system, as well as too can have that job cost information referenced under the corresponding project to keep that overall information intact in the accounting system. Yes, and this does work with QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. Does not matter what version of QuickBooks you're using there. We'd be able to integrate via the QuickBooks integration tool. As again, would be a part of the payroll implementation for you that our team would get set up here. Right, then another question we do have, someone asked about any layoff checks. Do I have the ability to cut a check in the middle of a payroll run if I had to get an employee paid? Yes, you could do so with us. So with the payroll service here, we would set up an off-cycle payroll period that, hey, any one-time check information you may need to cut, you could go into that off-cycle, enter that one-time check information, cut a live check outside the database at that point in time, hand it to that employee to get paid. Then the next time we process that payroll run, for the full payroll run for the team, we would be able to see any one-time check information, get that up to date on our end as the payroll provider there. So not an issue there. All right. Another question we have, can you integrate with Sage 300? Yes, Sage 300, we do have the ability to integrate with Sage 300 here. So that integration would be created throughout the implementation process. That again, just like with QuickBooks, we go ahead and match out the corresponding general ledger accounts, as well as with Sage being kind of a step above QuickBooks with the reporting there, can have information passed back on a cost code by cost code basis there if we're getting that kind of detailed breakout with Sage 300. But yes, short answer there, we can integrate with that Sage 300 system. So. All right, so looks like that may be all the questions we had here today. So with that, everyone, thank you for taking the time to meet with me here today in regards to Payroll for Construction. Anyone that has interest in exploring the payroll services here, please don't hesitate to reach out here. We do have some other questions there. Brenda, is James still my contact? Brenda, after I hop off, I'll check your account with us here and see who your main point of contact may be. It might be a support rep here now. Brenda, I'll reach out to you here separately after we hopped off. And then we have another one I missed. I'm assuming Excel import. I'm not sure there, Neil, for hours. Yes, Neil, it could be a combination of both, one or the other. So we do offer a mobile application there if you wanted employees to enter hours via the app, or if, hey, we're manually collecting hours right now on some sort of Excel sheet here, you could import an Excel CSV file into the system for hours tracking. Or like I had shown you here today, you do also have the ability to manually enter a time card there. We also can set up multiple time card formats of how you'd want information entered into the system there. So whether you use the mobile app, you're importing or manually entering into the system, you're not locked down to one format there. There's a number of ways that you could get hours entered into your payroll system there. Currently using Service Titan for hours tracking. Yep. Yep, Neil. So during the conversations there, we would discuss, okay, what kind of file Service Titan is able to export out there. We can match how the import needs to be laid out, then import those hours into the system there. So not sure if you're already in kind of the process of talking to a representative here, or that's something that you want to discuss. Be happy to talk that in more detail of the importing of hours into your payroll system there. So, all right, wonderful. Well, with that, everyone, thank you for taking the time to meet with me today for the webinar, highlighting how Payroll for Construction can help simplify that certified payroll reporting here. Anyone interested in holding a conversation here, please don't hesitate to reach out. But thanks again, everyone. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day here today.